we did end up selling one of the 302 engines, and with that decided to, you know, put it towards a new tool as opposed to just, you know, kind of sticking the money in the pocket and going to buy some popcorn. Basically decided to get one of these, which is the plasma cutter. And to be honest, you know, I thought this thing would be much bigger. I mean, I don't have the smallest hands, but you can see it's not really all that big at all. And I'm not gonna do a review. It's a ton of those online, you know, people kind of unboxing them and showing you how to put it together and all that kind of stuff. Really, this is just y'all being along with me for my first time actually using it, cutting up some pieces. I had some steel left over from something that we did before, and I will admit I have stumped my toe on this piece more than once. Now initially I was gonna put it on the just the 120, because you can do 120 and 240, but I figured, you know what, we ended up getting that because it does have 240, so I know that when we weld, we can use that no problem, and it actually works pretty good, as opposed to having to add 240 to the house and all that kind of stuff. Part's been secured. We're on our way back to home base. Testing it a couple of times, I think, you know, it's gonna run with the generator. Don't seem like it's gonna bog it down too much to where it'll cut off. I mean, even if it does, I guess, you know, what's the worst that can happen, right? Actually, no, I take that back. A lot of bad things can happen. Cut off a limb and all that kind of stuff, because this, apparently if it can cut through this metal, then that means it's pretty hot. But I know it's loud with the fan, the generator running, so I'm gonna put on some gloves and see what it cut like. Nothing to it but to do it. So first use, I mean, it's pretty easy to use. I know the back of the machine says gas line, so I was kind of like, oh shoot, I didn't know I needed gas with this. But it actually does work on the air compressor, so it just needs compressed air. I guess that's what they call gas wherever this thing is made. But so yeah, it just needed compressed air in order to work. But I mean, super easy to work. Really, you pretty much really hurt yourself how easy it is to just kind of hook it up and start going. The cuts, I mean, for what it's worth and how quick it was cutting it, that's all pretty good. You know, and I did do some other cuts on some different level settings. I've realized that, you know, with my generator, I'm not going to be able to cut like the very thickest metal, but I doubt that I'm going to be around here trying to cut something that's 3/4 inches thick. I mean, 3/4 inches thick is pretty thick metal. Like this right here is 1/4 inch. That's probably thicker than most of the stuff that I'm going to cut. But if I wanted to, I could, you know, we could figure out a way to make that work, but not necessary. Now, the fun part. What did we actually get this for? So yep, right now we're looking at one of my rear wheels, the big 28s, right? But if you look inside it, you can see it's kind of, just looks dirty, right? Just all dirty up in there like I haven't washed it. Well, actually, what that's from is my rear end. So my rear end comes out of a newer Crown Victoria, but what I wanted was called C-clip eliminators, and I put them in a video a long time ago. But when I put them in, the C-clip eliminators are actually for a Mustang. So they have the end that pretty much kind of comes right here to where the rim meets the axle. So right there at the rim, where the rim meets the axle, and then you got the lug nuts and everything. Well, the end piece is different on the Crown Victoria rear end versus a Mustang rear end. So because they don't make a rear end that I could put in the Crown Victoria with that Mustang rear end, I basically have to cut the ends off of that, weld it to this one in order to be able to get a C-clip eliminator that does not spit out all the fluid when I'm either rolling down the street or down the track. And it doesn't spit out the fluid a lot. Like, you know, I know it looks bad, but that's because it's basically, you know, it's oil sitting on the rim attracting all the dirt and brake dust and all that kind of stuff. So that's really what's going on. That's the first almost immediate project. Whenever I can get that out, get these out, and take some time to do it, that's probably going to be the first thing that's done with this. Now, secondly, this car is on a factory, pretty much factory suspension, especially for the rear. So that means that it has the lift, which was, you know, a 3-inch lift that they developed for a universal. Probably, shoot, I think this car's had 28 since like 2000, maybe 10, 2009. Like pretty much not, yeah, it's been a long time. It's been on 28s. But that factory suspension does me no good on the racetrack. So a second project that I definitely want to end up doing with it is figuring out how I can mock up some aftermarket suspension parts to my rear end. So I'm pretty sure when I take that one piece out to chop it up and weld it up to this one, I'm also going to be trying to change some things around so that I can get better angles going with my suspension, and then also maybe try to get something, some way, somehow to be able to have coilovers on it as well. So that's a second one. It's kind of a 2B or part 3 would be my front suspension, which I really want to update, you know, change some things on or whatnot. So normally your suspension, all the pieces kind of sit like this, and when they have the ability to travel, that's why your car rides smooth, right? If anything in that that's kind of doing this or this, if it's distorted, that's why you need an alignment. That's why your wheels and your tires wear wrong, all that kind of stuff, right? So mine, instead of sitting level like it is, like it's supposed to, because my car was lifted with a universal kit, and you know, there wasn't really something made for this car, all of my stuff is already stretched. Okay, so we'll do it like that. So let's say your normal car sits like this, mine is already like this. So instead of being able to do traveling like it normally does, it's basically trying to do this. So even though I can get on the road. If my tires are balanced, I can get on the road at 80, 90, 100 miles per hour, riding down the highway, and it'd be feeling smooth. And I'm not talking about like smooth 428. I'm talking about smooth. But that's because everything is stationary. Now, if I get on a road, so like Houston has roads that are kind of like built in sections, where it seems like they took a slab, put it down, took another slab, moved it next to it, put it down. So when I start to kind of roll over stuff, then like it really feels like it's just out of whack, right? And I hate that, to the point where I'll do some highway driving all the time, but like going into the city where there are a bunch of bumps and all this kind of stuff, I really don't like kind of driving it there. Not even for the factor that I could mess up one of my rims and tires on these janky bumps, but just the fact that it doesn't ride as good when I have to basically kind of go over all those kind of bumps, right? So that's another project that I plan on doing with it. And to be honest, it's a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm probably going to be doing now that I have something to cut with. As a matter of fact, if you close by and you need something cut, hit me up. We can work something out. Maybe if you get one of them t-shirts, I might even do the cuts for free. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, so overall, I like what that thing does. Cuts real easy. Didn't seem to cut off. I can use my generator at 240 volts to cut it. So I think I'm going to be pretty happy with that. And I'm going to get started on some additional fab work. I already said I'm a fabricator around here because of all the times I had to cut stuff, get stuff welded up, and make things for this car since they don't really make them. Ain't too many people riding these, especially the LTDs. Like that, so I have to piece and put things together. Now being able to cut up some metal easy and not have to spend 2 or 3 hours just trying to cut 5 pieces because the blades keep going out, I'll actually be able to get some more stuff done and get it done more efficient. So yeah, cool. Glad y'all were able to see that. Hopefully, if you were looking at this video trying to figure out if it's something that you want to get, hey, yeah, I say go for it. It works pretty good. Hopefully it continues to work pretty good, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't, but hey, I think I got something here. We'll be able to do some work. So we're gonna get back on the car stuff, which I guess technically this is still car stuff, but we'll get back on the car stuff and see y'all on the next video.